I love what Elizabeth Elliot said. I want to end with this quote and then kind of give you an illustration. But she said this: the secret to enduring is Christ in me, not me in a different set of circumstances. Isn't that good? The secret for your life to endure, to win the race, to drop the weight, to keep going where Christ has called you to do is not you in a different set of circumstances. It's actually Christ in you that makes you stronger. He's the author, he's the perfecter of your faith. 2 months ago in September, remember when that hurricane came through and hit the Atlantic coast? Devastated Florida. Hurricane Michael was its name, which I apologize if your name is Michael. I hate that they name hurricanes after people. It's a bad idea. I don't know who came up with that idea. But Hurricane Michael came through and just devastated Florida. One land in particular, one community was called Mexico Beach. I don't know if you heard this story, but Mexico Beach, this kind of like a mile, if you guys can put the picture up on the screen there. For a mile distance, 75% of the homes were destroyed. 75%, 3 out of 4 homes were destroyed. And not just like, oh, damage to my roof, like these homes, completely knocked down and demolished. And then I read this story about this one house. There's other houses in there, but this one house right there in the foreground was called the Sandcastle Palace. And it was built a few years ago, obviously after hurricane codes had been updated and made stronger. But they went the extra mile to put in the work so that when a hurricane like Michael came through, when those punches were thrown, their house would be left standing. And so they invested maybe like $15,000 to $30,000, which seems like a lot, but I mean, if you can afford like a beach house like that, it's probably pennies. But they made sure that the extra investment was put into putting that foundation 40 feet into the ground. They actually had walls that were built that could tear off easily, that wouldn't tear off the rest of the house. They would detach easily when winds got to a certain speed. And then they built it up so that the storm surge wouldn't take it down. They went through painful lengths to put the time, energy, and money in so that after a hurricane hit, they would be the ones left standing. You know, it's interesting. Someone pointed this out in the first service, but you see that house behind it? There's a house directly behind it. And I wonder, it doesn't look that impressive actually, but I wonder because of that structure in front of it, that they actually benefited as a result. I think that's true in our own personal lives. It's the investment that we make for ourselves and our family, our friends, the people that we love. If we're willing to put the extra effort in, if we're willing to lean heavily on Jesus, not our circumstances, if we're willing to drop the weight, to take inventory of the sin that so easily tangles us and lay it aside, to run with endurance, to do the spiritual disciplines, to pray, to get in your Bible, to be a part of a small group in a community, to lean on each other, we benefit. We won't be the houses that are torn down and wiped away. We'll actually be the ones that are left standing when the punches are thrown. But the secret to endurance is not to take our house and to put it on a different beach in a different state. It's not to remove ourselves from a different set of circumstances. It very well could be that the circumstances that you're dealing with that you wouldn't wish on yourself could be the very thing that's God's going to use to build in you that otherwise wouldn't be there. But you got to be the type of person that doesn't throw in the towel, the type of person that leans on Christ. Otherwise, your faith will fall. It's on Christ, the solid rock, we stand, right? As we sing, all other ground is sinking sand.